Hello and welcome back to The Stack. Here are today's top stories. The first story is having to do with an update on the FBI raid on Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. So the White House is now denying that they knew about the raid beforehand. This came from White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. She said during a news briefing on Tuesday, quote, "No, the president was not briefed, was not aware of it. No one at the White House was given a heads up. No. That did not happen." She said no like 6 times, so it must be true that they didn't know about the raid, even though it seems incredibly improbable that the President of the United States would not know that the FBI, the Justice Department, was going to conduct a raid on a former president and a president who could very well be his opponent in 2024. It seems like that would be something that the president would certainly be briefed about, but apparently, according to Jean-Pierre, that did not happen. Honestly, there's really 2 lines of thinking that you could go with this. One could be that Jean-Pierre is lying and that the president actually did know about the raid. That's possible. Another one is that he didn't. And honestly, given how many failures we've seen in this administration, it's not that far out of the question that Joe Biden maybe didn't know about this raid. But if he didn't, that's a really serious indictment on the Justice Department, on the FBI, on Merrick Garland, the Attorney General. All these people should be communicating something like this. A reporter pressed Jean-Pierre a little bit further and asked her if she was concerned about the move reeking of politics, as some people have said. And Jean-Pierre really didn't address this concern either. She said, quote, "Look, I'll say this. The president and the White House learned about the FBI search from public reports. We learned just like the American public did yesterday, and we did not have advance notice of this activity. President Biden has been very clear from before he was elected president and throughout his time in office that the Justice Department conducts its investigations independently." So she's still going with the same line of logic that the White House didn't know. Either way, honestly, it looks pretty bad for the Biden administration, whether she's lying or whether she's telling the truth. And it looks like, once again, this raid is not going as planned. They were hoping that it was going to hurt Trump's chances in 2024. At this point, given the widespread outcry against this move and how unjust this move has been against Donald Trump, it seems that they actually may have fueled his chances even further for 2024, which is certainly not their goal. Our second story today has to do with yesterday's elections in Wisconsin. One of the biggest battles was for the Republican primary for governor. There was one candidate backed by Mike Pence. Her name was Rebecca Kleefisch. She was the former Wisconsin lieutenant governor, and she was running against Tim Michels, a businessman who Trump had endorsed. A lot of liberal outlets were trying to paint this as, Trump versus Pence. Maybe this will split the party again. Maybe whichever candidate wins will tell everyone not to vote for the other candidate, and then it'll give the Democrat governor candidate a chance to win, or at least a better chance to win. As it seems, that did not really happen. So what ended up happening was Michels won, the Trump-backed candidate, as we've been seeing all across the country, really. Not every single Trump-backed candidate has won, but people who have gotten Trump's endorsement have been very successful in these Republican primaries. So not a huge surprise that this happened. And then also, on top of that, the left did not get what they wanted, which was Kleefisch maybe telling people not to vote or saying that she's angry or riling up her followers against Michels. Instead, she congratulated Michels. She called on her followers to unite the Republican Party to support Michels, and so elect him so that a Democratic governor would not be put in place in Wisconsin. So that is obviously the rational response. That's something that Republicans should do during a primary. Obviously, they all want to get the nomination, but once one is picked, it's time for the party to unite against Democrats, because even if the person that you maybe supported didn't win the Republican primary, I can guarantee you that the other Republican is going to be much better than having a radical leftist in office. So this is exactly what we need to be seeing, and the left doesn't like it. So that is a good sign for us. The third story today: Ford has raised the price of the electric F-150 Lightning. This comes just after we were reporting on this very show that the F-150 Lightning could only go about 90 miles when carrying a pretty normal-sized trailer before it needed to be recharged again. So the towing capacity, very, very poor on these vehicles. Americans not really interested in buying them for the most part, and yet Ford is still upping the price. They said that it comes because of, quote, significant material cost increases and other factors. So they're going to be raising the price from about $6,000 to $8,500 depending on which model you get. All the models are going to be going up. The 2022 sticker price for the Ford F-150 Lightning was about $40,000 to $92,000. Obviously, that's a big range. Depends on what you're getting, all the features. Now the range has gone up from $47,000 to $97,000. So the lower end and the higher end have both increased with these new price increases. So honestly, this is a bad sign for Ford. Can't do what most Americans want their trucks to do. And now it's going to cost them even more to buy this ineffective truck. Not looking great for electric cars. Despite Joe Biden and the Democrats' push to make everyone buy an electric car, it seems that it's not going exactly to plan, and gas cars are going to be here to stay, at least for the time being. If you want to stay up to date on all the stories about electric cars, all the stories about the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago and everything that's going on with that, and the midterm elections coming up in November, just go to westernjournal.com. We're going to have all that information for you there. We'll keep you up to date. Go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, and hit that bell icon so that you never miss an episode. You can always keep up with the latest news with The Stack.